Okay, so this is the very first reader out of the set, the first set, and your child should already know some of their sounds at least. It says your child should know all or most of their alphabet sounds before starting these books. There are 3 pre-reading pages before the story. Please do not skip these. They're super important. They will walk you and your student through the important phonemic awareness skills needed to significantly accelerate a child's reading and writing achievement. Okay, lots of times kids get bored with these pre-reading pages, but they actually are so important in helping them become solid readers. So you're not going to skip these before they come to the story. You're going to do them every time, unless you are reading it 2 times back to back in a row. Then you can go straight to the story the second time. If you're in the same little reading session and you're reading the book multiple times, then just do the pre-reading pages on the first time through. But if you are reading the book one time and then 4 hours later you read it again, then you need to go through the pre-reading pages each time, if that makes sense. So also, these phonemic awareness, it always starts with a phonemic awareness skill, and the phonemic awareness skills are always auditory. It is super important that they're looking at your lips. They're not looking at these words. This isn't where they're doing their reading. They're watching you. So rhyming is a skill that they just do with their ears. All of the phonemic awareness skills are ones that they are just doing with their ears. They're not looking, and if it's identifying the beginning sound, they're not looking at this going, oh, I know it's an H. That's not what we're doing at all. If we were looking for the beginning sound in a different phonemic awareness, like a different pre-reading page, then I would say, oh, look at me. And I would say, what does hen start with? And they would need to be looking at you and looking at your mouth and your lips and saying, oh, it starts with, yeah. Here, it's rhyming. So here it says, the adult says, I will say 2 words. If these 2 words rhyme, do a thumbs up. If not, do a thumbs down. So you are having them look at your lips and you say hen, pen. And they do a thumb up and you're like, yes, good job. Okay, what about this one? Tail, sail. Yes, very good. Okay, what about spare, dare? Yes. What about green, gold? No, that's right. It's not. They aren't. So you're giving them positive reinforcement. If you're on book 10 and it's a rhyming page and they are, you can tell they have the skill mastered, you can speed it along and you choose if there's 15 of these, you can just do 5 of them or 10 of them if they have it mastered. But if not, just go through each of them. It helps so much to expedite their progress, and those skills are super important. Okay, so there will be sight words to glue sentences together. And more often, though, they are learning 2-letter sounds so that they can decode everything. It's awesome. So here, they'll look at it, and if I were you, I would have them be pointing to the screen, having their finger under there. It helps them to know where they are, of course, but also to help them just have physical touch involved and helps them to pay attention and to keep focused if they are touching something and following along. So say I, 2, and okay, good. Okay, then they're also learning punctuation, and this one is a period or a stop sign. So this is the one that at the very end of a sentence, you're going to stop really quick before you go on to the next sentence. And that's a period or a stop sign. Then they practice their sounds. And here you can explain that if there's 2 N's or two letters together that are the same, they're going to it's going to sound like 1. It's not going to sound like 2. It's not going to be like We just say like in and. It's just, we say it 1 time. Then they practice their sounds, they put their finger under there, and we want them to practice and go as quickly as they can. T, a, k, d, a, f, I, d, a, k. Now notice how I'm saying those sounds as short as I can. We don't want it to be like t, k, d. We want them to be short so that they can lock the sounds together easier. So it's not confusing. They don't think d, a, f. It's d, a, f. And the vowels you can go long on, but d, a, f, I, d, a, k. Very short. Okay, so they go through those sounds. This one I love. On their blending page, they put their finger underneath, they slide their finger under the letter, and you're going to say it as long as you're sliding. So, good. Good. Ah, duh. Now, lots of times, teachers have the little dot, dot, dot under that, and I don't actually care for that. I think that it makes them break up a word more than it needs to be. If you can have them sliding the sounds into the next one, like here, and what's the word? Then that's much easier for them to connect to than what's the word? No, they're going to get it easier if they are sliding and bumping in. You want those sounds to sound connected so they can figure out what that word is going to be. And you can also hear, what's the word? Okay, that is a word, but this one's a nonsense word. What's the word? Yes, good job. Okay, so that's very good. Okay, here is our first page of the story. And they've learned the sight word, I. And then you say, okay, what does it start with? And there you're having them touch under that word. They're sliding with you. What's the word? Am. I am. Oh, okay. Now here's a capital. That means that it's going to be probably someone's name. Let's read it. What does it start with? T. Good. T. Now we're going to bump into the next one. T. What's the word? Tim. Good. Oh, stop sign. Keep going. I am Anne. Good. Okay. Which one do you think is Tim? Which one do you think is Anne? Yes. Good job. And you see how there's the two n's that are kind of highlighted a wee bit? That just shows a two-letter sound. So they aren't confused. They're not going And when it's something more complex, like an SH, they know that it's going to make one sound. They are connected. They know those phonograms. Okay, they continue on to the next page. Okay, and you're going to keep reading, good. And then they come to the end, and here we have 10 slots. They're going to sign it every time they go through it all the way from the beginning, unless, of course, they're sitting down and doing it twice in a row or 3 times in a row. Then they just do the pre-reading pages the first time. And you are going to find a piece of paper and keep track so that after they've done it 10 times, they go on to the next book. You can ask these comprehension questions. So who was hot? Yes, it was Anne. Anne was the one. How do you think they felt? Well, at the end, they both looked happier, right? What did Tim do to help? He fanned Anne. Awesome, okay? So, also, if your children don't have those alphabet sounds mastered, it's a great idea to have flashcards and be practicing those sounds, because the quicker they know those sounds, the quicker, with the least hesitation, the easier the blending will be for them. So it's super fun. They do it 10 times, and they might sound like they have it memorized, and they probably do. But that's okay. That's okay. If you feel like they are starting to depend way too much on memorization, remember to prompt them by saying, oh, what does that start with? Because sometimes their finger isn't matching and you know they have it memorized. And go back to where you have it pointed, you know, oh, what's that sound again? So they are always really working on the decoding. Okay, I wanted to show you quickly the last one in this set. This was number 1. The last one in this set is this one. So you can see how much progress they make in this set, and yet it is not jumping huge skill levels like lots of phonics readers where they'll have it be Meg the pig sat, and then it will have this 4-letter sound in it that you're just guessing. And I really love that these are teaching them phonograms, and they're able to decode bigger and bigger words, and it doesn't jump. So they shouldn't be guessing a whole lot here. They should be decoding. So here, this book 20, you can see here, they are the skill. Remember, this one's auditory. So you're saying, and they're looking at your lips. Okay, w-at. What is that? What's the word? Put it together, and what does it say? W-at. What? Good. W-air. What does that say? Where. Good. What about sags? What's the word? Sags. So they are learning how to put parts of words together. Here, they've gotten many more sight words. Many, he, to, there, no, deep, a, this, loves. Okay, so there's all of these. Then we have punctuation. Now they've learned all of these. Some sight words still. Food, pink, new ones. And those are the ones for this book. But they do know what the O-O, this phonogram, ooh, they've worked on. These are the sounds now. By the end here, they know all of those alphabet sounds. And look at how many 2-letter sounds they've learned here now. R, or, ch, e, v, w, sh, oo, ow, v, r, ch, or. So they just have a chance to practice all of these other ones too. And here, now we're blending more complex things. Ch, ah, cha, wa, if, k, oo, sh. Now, longer words that they're blending, they're sliding. Finger under there, sliding. St, ill. Faster. St, ill. What's the word? Still. Good. Black. Faster. Black. What's the word? Black. So you can see they're blending harder words and just a little bit more difficult but still very decodable. And by the end of this, when they've gotten to book 20, they're feeling a lot more confident about their reading. They're doing great. So here, the phonograms, ooh, we have the S, S, E, E, C, K, and again, 10 times the comprehension questions, and it's so exciting. So by the time they get to they've passed off the book 20, they are becoming more confident, a little more fluent. And the next set goes right into silent E, more phonograms, and just excellent practice. And you can see it strengthens every time they go through. Okay, one other thing I wanted to say was consistency is the key. So if you can find a time when your child when they might be most inclined to want to read. Sometimes it's such a chore, they're going to not want to do it, but maybe at bedtime when they are going to bed is even more of a chore. They aren't anxious to go to bed, and then that's something that they can kind of be excited about at that time. if they're in the mood and they're like, oh, Mom, I want to read my book. Sometimes you're going to be in a position where that's absolutely impossible, but whenever possible and they're in the mood and you can drop what you're doing and do it then, that is the best time to do it, when they're in the mood. Remember to be positive. Try not to correct them in a negative way. You can, instead of saying, no, that's not what it was, don't get after them. Try to be unemotional, and or if nothing, hopefully positive. Oh my goodness, that's so great. Way to go. Anything that we want to water the flowers and not the weeds, and if they can get excited about it. In my class, I have a little prize box where they are teensy tiny little, little teeny toys, like a piece of gum or a balloon, where you can get 10 balloons for $1 or something. It can be this tiny thing, but a little incentive might go a long way. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that is it. If you have questions, feel free to email me, but this is such a blast because you see so much progress and it is so fun. After this and after the next set, the 21 through 40, they are ready for chapter books and it is such a blast. So good luck, have such a great time, and if you have questions, let me know.